You're watching ABC4 News, celebrating 75 years.
Welcome back. We are highlighting Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Utah, and we're taking a closer look at a new law designed to help victims of domestic violence escape. So we are sitting down with Jacob Kent, who is a part of the Utah Legal Services, to talk a little bit about what's available for victims and survivors of domestic violence. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us a little bit about what services you provide for people who are trying to escape domestic violence.
So Utah Legal Services, we do have a domestic side. We'll help people get protective orders, stalking injunctions, things like that. And as to housing, which is what I'm over, we will work with people, talk to people about how they may be able to terminate their lease agreement or get new locks on their door if they call our office.
Tell us what are some of the legal options that are available? I know there's been some new laws, some new adjustments to that provide more clarity on what victims' rights are in those situations.
Sure. So one thing a victim of crime or a victim of domestic violence have is they have the right to get new locks. New locks put on their door. The way the law puts it, it really puts the expense on the tenant, but they can ask that the landlord put on new locks so that the abuser doesn't have access to their apartment. The other thing the law does is it allows the victim of domestic violence, which is different than just the crime victim, but it allows a victim of domestic violence to cancel their contract, right, to get out of it so that they can get away from their abuser.
And you were talking a little bit on the specific provisions for victims who are trying to get out of a lease agreement because of safety issues, and how financially obligated, like what the financial obligations entailed if they decided to cancel their lease. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So the new law 314 that passed last session, it allows them to just pay the equivalent of 1 month of rent to get out. It's basically a statutory buyout fee, right? And so for me, if I'm talking to a victim of domestic violence and they want out, I'm going to say, what does the lease say? Is the termination fee in the lease cheaper than the 1 month rent? Then do that, right? But this law does provide a way for them to just pay 1 month's worth of rent.
What was the rule before then? What were victims' options before this passed?
So before that, it was the equivalent of 45 days worth of rent, right? So it's going to require a lot of calculation on someone who's just trying to be done with the situation.
Did this change have much pushback from landlords, or did everyone seem on board saying this is just common sense legislation that protects victims?
I do believe that this law came to being with the tenant and the landlord side coming together. So it has some support there.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. A lot of times when I talk to survivors of domestic violence, they say, you know, we were told about the shelters, we were told about the therapy, but we didn't know what our legal options were, and you know, what we could do in those situations. What do you think surprises your clients most when you talk to them about what they actually can do in these situations, and what laws are out there to protect them?
I think there's definitely some surprise that there is some protection that they can just get out of the lease, right? The other surprise is the steps they have to take. Now, with the modification from House Bill 314, it does simplify things a little bit, right? Where it's like, look, you can give this notice, you pay this termination fee, and then you have to be out within 15 days, right? It's a simpler
Very
process,
straightforward.
and easier for them to do, especially as they're dealing with being a victim of domestic violence and dealing with the trauma associated with that.
I mean, there's so much to unpack there, and I know we're running out of time, but I want everyone to know where they can get more information if they have questions on their legal rights. Can you tell us where people can find more information on that? Sure.
They can either go to our website, utahlegalservices.org, or they can call our intake line at 801-328-8891.
All right, Jacob Kent, thank you so much for joining us and telling us about all the services that you provide that are very much needed here in Utah. All right, before we go, we want to remind you of a very important resource. This right here is Utah's Domestic Violence Hotline. The hotline can connect you with a variety of resources, including shelter, legal help, as we talked a little bit about, or maybe just someone to talk to. So this is free, it's confidential, and available 24/7. So please take a picture of this number, maybe write it down, or call right now if you or someone you know needs help. Stay with us. We have Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy with her full forewarned forecast coming right up when we come back.